You rolling? Okay, sorry. I'm just doing some baked potatoes for later. Hey y'all, it is DJ BBQ or Christian Stevenson doing festival pork. This is the pork that we do most weekends on the festival circuit. We cook about 25 of these overnight. I'm talking 5 to 6 kilos each. This one looks about 4.3, 4.5 kilos with our festival rub, which is salt, pepper, paprika, garlic granules, ground cumin, onion granules, chili flakes, and brown sugar. Sometimes we do mustard powder and a bit of ground coriander, but we're gonna use some mustard as the binder. We don't do this at festivals, but I'm just doing one, so we're gonna use this as our beautiful glue for the rub. So that's gonna be the rub. On the shoulder, you want pork butt. It's sometimes called the spare rib or neck end. You want the chine bone removed, the rind off, blade bone in. That's how we do it. That brown sugar kind of clumps up. There we go. We've got the classic American rub: salt, pepper, onion granules, garlic granules, bit of brown sugar, some paprika. But we like to go North Africa with ground coriander and ground cumin. And because we live in the UK, we like to use a bit of mustard powder. Oh my gosh, that looks good. It smells amazing. It smells earthy. This is pretty much an umami bomb going on the pork shoulder. We're gonna glaze this with some yellow mustard. We're gonna give it a nice little rub with the mustard. It's gonna add a little sweet tang, some sharpness to the festivities. You can see that's the blade bone. That's the only bone you want in there. There's also a chine bone that comes off the neck that's sometimes attached to this. You wanna get that removed because that's a pain in the butt to take out. When you ask your butcher, you say, listen, I want the shoulder, and they might call it the spare rib, or then we'll call it the neck end. We call it the pork butt. If you go towards the shoulder, like the arm, that's called the picnic. And back here is called the butt. The whole thing is whole shoulder. Sometimes butchers will call this the hock or the hand, because it's got that ball in it. We want this cut back here. You just got less stuff to deal with. You don't have to have that ball and socket and that bone, this bone coming out of it to deal with. So it's less stuff, pretending I'm a pig. I mean, the thing is, with this cut, you know, it's been working. It's not really a roasting joint, it's a slow and low cooking joint. Because there's connective tissue, there's collagen, we wanna slowly break it all down. All right, we're gonna rub the pork shoulder and get it on the smoker. We're gonna cook it between 235 and 250 on the Fahrenheit dial. I think it's about 110, 115 on the Celsius. Let it go slow and low overnight. So let's get it on. Wanna build up a nice kind of crust. The wood smoke will oxidize and you get a pink ring on the outside of the joint. Now this muscle is nice and soft right now, then it'll tense up and then it'll go soft again, and that's when you know it's ready. I don't really cook barbecue to temperature. I cook it to touch. You know, with roasting and grilling, I use a probe, and I do cook to temp, not to time, but when it comes to like slow cooks and brisket, shoulder, ribs, it's all about getting my thumb in there and pushing through the meat. So I'm gonna give it a flip. There we go. So we make huge buckets of this at festivals because we're doing like 70 to 80 of these over a weekend. And there's the rub, looking good. Make sure you got all the sides all sorted out. Okay. This is our money muscle. This is the one that people line up for. We've been doing this for over a decade. We cook a lot of pork shoulder and people line up. One time we were at Silverstone and there was 84 people in our line waiting for us to open and buy our pork shoulder for breakfast. Okay, this is just sitting right here at about 250. It'll drop a little bit when I put a colder piece of meat in there, and then it'll rise again and we're good to go. So for the beginning, I do like to start at 250 Fahrenheit and then bring her down slow and low throughout the evening. Okay, you ready, Blue? Just making sure I get all that goodness. Okay. You get in there. So I got some wild cherry, some oak, We'll also put a bit of water in there. That'll help with getting the smoke to circulate and stick to the meat. We'll see you when you're done. If you're looking, you ain't cooking. That's the one thing I tell people. Like when we put our shoulder in, we don't even like open up the smoker for like 3 or 4 hours. I want to get that thing to go mahogany. Once it goes mahogany, I'm going to wrap it with peach paper, butcher paper, then a bit of foil. I'm also going to splash on some apple juice and some cider vinegar, a bit of tang, a bit of sweet, and then that's going to be in its wrap of butcher paper, and it's going to go all night. So that needs about 5 hours. Then it'll go mahogany in color. Then I'll wrap it, and then I'll put it to bed. Just let it go slow and low. I'll catch some Z's, come back in the morning, have a look, see where we're at. Does it need any more time, or is it ready to pull? Hey guys, so we've been doing a pork shoulder overnight, and it's now time to take her out. So last night, after it had about 4.5, 5 hours of love, I took it out and I wrapped it in peach paper and foil. Normally I would hit it with some apple juice and cider vinegar. Couldn't find the apple juice, so I always save my pickle juice, and I think it's a great little kind of base to throw in there. So pickle juice works a treat. You got that sweet, you got that tang, it's perfect. So, did a foil wrap on the outside to kind of keep the heat in because we're battling cold, and I wanted to get some Z's in. But I put some peach paper, some butcher paper on the outside. You can see how the fat cracked up here, which is what you want to see. This is all the kind of the seeds from the pickle juice. And this kind of holds all the juices in there. So let's throw it in. Woo! Oh yeah. That's why I wrap it in the foil. That's why I wrap it in the peach paper. The peach paper is next to the meat, so there's no taint from the foil. But it also breathes a little bit, so you get to keep that bark, that outside brown. So that's what they call the kind of the oxidized, beautiful bit where the fats have rendered. You've got the oxidation, you got the rub, you've got the heat, you got the smoke, the outside brown. Well, it's actually a bit more mahogany. But the locals in Carolina call it outside brown. They'll be ordering it as well. Like they'll order it as like an off-menu item. I want more outside brown. Okay, so there's a little bone you want to make sure it comes right off of this. You don't want that in your pork shoulder because that'll crack a tooth. So make sure you find that little bad boy and you get rid of it. So there's that little bit of bone. And of course, there's this one. So blue, we're gonna pull out that blade bone. Should come out clean, like so. And this is when we sing the clean bone song. Clean bone. My friend Johnny Boots used to always do that. So yeah, there you go. That beautiful money muscle right there. Oh. So this didn't have as much smoke as we do at the festivals. We're mainly just cooking off a stick burner. So we just use wood to cook our shoulder. This one had about 3 or 4 chunks of wood, but mainly I had some charcoal in there. Just because I want my kids to have some, and my little girl, she's not a huge, she doesn't really want too much smoke. And she'll be hitting this. Oh my goodness, there we go. Hey Tash, you want to try some pork shoulder? There we go. Yeah, just pulled it. So be careful. Yeah, sorry.
That's good. What's spicy?
What's that?
What's spicy?
Well, it's salt, pepper, onion granules, garlic granules, a little bit of paprika, some chili flakes, and brown sugar. And then I threw in some pickle juice when I wrapped it. Little tang.
That's lovely. I'll give some to Rianne.
Yeah, I got more, so if she wants a whole plate, I can hook you guys up. You'll also have this bit of blubber in there. Sometimes it'll render and just turn into butter, but you want to look for that. So those are the 3 things you want to get rid of there. The blubber, that little rock, and then this blade bone. And then if you have any kind of like fat that hasn't rendered, you want to get rid of that. But there we go. Beautiful. Oh my goodness. Got some outside brown. That's the mahogany we're talking about. Yeah. Oof. Looking good. Here we go. Oh, that's the outside brown. That's the wood smoke, oxidation with the rub. That's that bark, that beautiful bark. Oh man, that's good. All right. A little bit more of that blubber right there. That's it. Okay, Blue, you want some? Let me find you the best bit. There we go. You want that? So, this is, at festivals, we usually hit it with a bit of salt, a bit of cider vinegar, maybe a splash of apple juice, and then we serve it. We don't put any barbecue sauce on it right here. We let the smoke and the rub do the singing and kind of elevate it with a bit of salt and cider vinegar. I'm DJ Barbecue. See you guys next time.